am as harmless as ladybug spots reflecting sun.
When my back is broken from all this weight, and the pain is terrifying.
From now on, I am the third word in a sentence of 16, and I don't care if you forget me, just don't let your thoughts perish.
And I could not hear, see, or feel what God was doing. And at this particular time, this particular guy, he flew in.
Cause when I look in the sky, I wonder if I'll be sent up there. Thinking of heaven, that's a place I would love to live in and literally spend endless years.
If you're watching, this is the East by Southeast Spoken Word Showcase. I'm Selah V, and I'm here with a wonderful, beautiful, amazing poet, Precious Hush Yet. Glad to have you back, girl.
Hey, how are you doing?
It's good. It's been, she used to live in Austin. We went to college together, Houston Tillotson Rams. What's up? And she ended up going to San Antonio, and she's in the military. Don't let the dress fool you. This girl is a soldier. And so I'm glad to have you here.
I'm glad to be here. You know, today the weather's a little finicky, but I made it down here without any accidents, which is, you know, a blessing in
God.
Texas.
Yeah, I know
So,
that's right.
Yeah, I was happy to be here.
So,
see your little nails are all
do
cute
you like
today.
my girlfriend from Nail Geeks? That's what it is.
You should show everybody.
In Round Rock. They're really, really fly. She is amazing. She put like nail caviar on my nails, and she did my toes with all these different designs. Nail Geeks, Round Rock, hit her up. She's amazing.
Fancy.
So yeah, she's really awesome. Anyway, so you're just such a hat. You wear so many hats. You can flip from poet to diva to soldier. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. You got all these different personalities in you, and it shows inside your poetry, because you could flip it up. You'll go from sensual to, like, bring it in 5.2 seconds. So what did you bring for us? What personalities did you bring for us?
So let's see, what personalities did I bring? I don't want to sound schizophrenic.
But I don't want to sound schizophrenic, but
So I kind of have a little bit of a love poem.
Awesome.
A little bit of a piece that's kind of, you know, specifically geared towards poets, as far as, like, you know, people not necessarily being happy with whatever hat you're wearing.
Wow.
And then just one about being a strong person, which I think you'll like that one.
Interesting. Precious is an amazing poet. She is very, very enticing. She, I've talked to people who have been in the crowd at her performances, and they'll be like, they'll come to me and they're like, yeah, there's this poet, her name is Precious. And I'm like, yeah, I know Precious. And they're just mesmerized by her. So, I mean, I know she's like, please don't gas me up too much, but I am going to. You're going to be mesmerized. She's an amazing, amazing poet, and you're about to see why. So please stay in tune as I present to you, Austin, Texas, Precious Hush Yet.
Trees. There are trees I resemble. Cherry blossoms, soft and fragrant, back stacked like soldier sequoia. My skin is redwood asymmetric, as if within my hardened exterior my heart beats like leaves rustling in the wind. Do not mistake me for a weeping willow, although my branches have been there, they say. You can tell a tree's age by the amount of rings it has, the girth of roots, ripening of fruits. I am not quite old enough to plunder the ground with the release of my burden. The majesty of my limbs spreading across sky is majestic at best, does not compare to what I could be. Bending little tree. Lumberjacks, termites, and woodpeckers concentrate to restore the glory of her greatness, burrow into the soil of her soul, populate her for profit like resin-covered pine boxes at a poor man's funeral. Let me draw breath, like I allow you to breathe, before I get tired of this symbiotic relationship. Learned a long time ago that most beautiful things are just waiting to kill you. My oak tree of a mind is much too tough for you to crush or swallow, be it knowledge or a nut, never mind. I'm still standing, swaying to keep from breaking, viewed strange as palm trees in Texas, not quite hardy as they should be, but people keep trying. Not understanding the difference between earth and dirt, dirt and soil, soil and wind, wind and home. You've let it be known. My palm tree parading attempts at success are an eyesore. Will never reach my full potential here. Will cut me down and muffle my fall. I be a dogwood, sapling, plum tree, thorn in your side. You keep waiting for a fern gully chainsaw type massacre. Could give a crap if the tree feels pain. Don't believe in the Lorax. Been told my Chinaberry branches are good for nothing but to swing off of, dream off of, be made into someone else's things. Like I'd be okay being a coffee table someone else used to pick the lives up off of. I may have branched out from your branches, but I am not your seed. Believe these things. On quiet days, I hear God whisper in the wind and know that he gave me everything I need to thrive and survive. There are trees I resemble, comprised of bark, beauty, and wisdom, and I am grateful. No love lost. There is no reason for you to hate me. I am not a threat to the cliche you click yourself up with. My beauty does not sashay its behind in front of your face, and you must find comfort in knowing one day it will fade. I do not wish you harm, nor think of you with the serrated side of my tongue facing the farce of your throat. I am not a feline waiting to pounce on the personality of your partner or the rigid phallus of your loved one, whether it be skin or protruding plastic. I am as harmless as ladybug spots reflecting sun. You will not burn to a cinder for gazing upon the truth of this poem. There is no venom buried in my gums. My womb will not produce mortals dedicated to sacrificing their life and limb to get back at you. I do not coat my lips in snow white apple poison as I perform for you, you beautiful, insecure moth to a flame. What is it about me that does it for you? That strokes trembling trepidation into your heart like pleasure eked out by a rapist's fingers. I have no intentions of either murdering you with mediocrity or strangling you with umbilical cord. Cut the crap already. You dream of my death so often I'm not even thinking about you. It's like inviting Dracula into your corroded coffin. I can smell fear, and every time I step on stage or darken a doorway, despite yourself, you're mesmerized. Try to console the too quick beating of your heart by whispering echoed lies. There is no pretense in the rancor you have built up in your heart for me. You repeat what you've been told by the Kool-Aid drinkers of our present. No worries about being found out or penalized. There is an army of individuals just like you, masquerading as people when they're really just puppets. I don't mean to offend, it just tears me to pieces. You thought of that, didn't you? Ripping me to shreds pleases your perverseness. The guilt you have written across your features is enough evidence to hang you with. Well, go ahead. I don't mind. You've already done it 1,000 times in the company of others where you thought my ears would not reach back to you, and on stage in front of hundreds of people who shook their heads sadly like I do. I understand. It must be so hard to be overshadowed when you're on stage in the spotlight. All your actions scream, "Look at me," but no one's listening. If it's any consolation, I do. More than you know. The sound of your trembling heart titillating is terribly entertaining. So go ahead, keep talking. See how harmless I really am. After all, there's no love lost between us. Poems. I've got recessed palms with your name written on them. In tirades of tears, it's how I learned to make fists closed. myself around repeated recollections so I'd have some of you left, fingers knotted and gnawed like the roots of cork trees. When did our shortage start? Something in your features keeps branding me like a tattoo. Keep hoping it'll wash off, that I'll be able to bury my face in something other than your memory, but nothing. Nothing erases the stains you've left on my prayers. Recessed palms, open like half-moon hearts and the palms of the needy. I drop streams into them like the Nile, running through my music, making safari organ you used to play into so often. Your mouth, a constant companion to the melodious beating. Trust me, for all you listening, my heart didn't used to be a desert, and in the past my hands were not the bloom of cactus flowers, red, radiant, and destined to die. I used to be a thorn. I was a thorn, but not even rosebuds would have me, no matter how often I tried to prick close to the side. Something about my stickiness did not appeal to the silk of princesses, and tired of the incessant pain of loving me, I'd be cast off like a blanket of psalms over a sinner. Someone tell me it's okay to not be in love, to not search for those tingles that tiptoe down my spine like the seeking of a blind man's fingers. Everything comes back to palms, yours and mine, like the backs of black doves, and then everything comes back to back. I used to love to make you come back to back, although now the whisper of the taste you left on my tongue like a word too long to pronunciate does not bring you back to my black. You say my moods distinguish the thorn I used to be, that the palms I am now are always grasping. You funny, fickle creature. At first you felt the countenance of my prickly pear hands were as smooth as baby oil on newborn skin. Now we have become callous, cracked, and discolored. Kitchen cabinet hinges creaked open and left in disarray. Where did my heart go when you left me? Into my palms, like my head and the silent shaking of this poem. Palms, Grand Canyon deep from holding the acid of your heart. Somebody sing me a song, let it sound like prayer, the way my palms did when you walked away.